Hello, everyone. I hope you are all well. So, first things first. What happened was the tripod that I had, not the one. So, when I took that class a few years ago, 4 years ago. I can't believe it was 4 years ago now. When I took that class for video and photography, which honestly was a waste of time. Anyway, I digress. I bought a tripod. That tripod broke as soon as I got it. It was garbage. It was cheap. I threw it away. The other tripod that I got that from my grandparents. So that probably was about 40 years old. That finally broke. After I was finished shooting the VHS collection overview, I was cleaning the closet and I knocked it over, and the top part where the camera sits broke. So that finally broke after almost 40 years. So I am not buying a tripod, not right now, anyways, because I don't need it, because I'm not doing videos as much as I did. So for now, the camera is sitting on a stack of DVDs on a chair. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll try not to bump anything and we'll go from there. But today, I'm kicking off this week, this Monday, with a collection update because it has been forever since I've done one. I think the last one was at the end of January, and I have a lot of stuff here, as you can clearly see. And I just want to get it done and get it knocked out, and we can move on from there. So I know you guys, like I said, this kind of stuff I will do because I know you guys like this stuff. So there you go. Sorry, I have not had, couldn't tell you when I had an Arizona green tea last. Usually, I know this has nothing to do with anything, and I know most of you probably don't care. Usually when I drink iced tea, it's Turkey Hill, which is local. Actually, it's Turkey Hill or it's Rutter's, which are local to this area. And then for you Maryland, Virginia people, we just got a Wawa here about a year ago. So if I go to Wawa to get gas or something, I'll get some Wawa tea. So there you go. I try to keep it local. So I don't even know where the hell to start with all this. So, you know what? I will start with. Yeah, I'll start with this. More of the miscellaneous type of stuff. So first up, I actually we'll cover part 2 later because part 2 is coming in the mail today. But I found this locally. One of the antique malls I found this. So I did get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 novelization for $2. So there you go. There's that. I did order the novelizations for 1 and 2. 2 will be here today. Whenever that shows up in the mail, I'll just add that to the end of the video and then we'll upload it all at once. And then part 1 I will include in the next update because the guy that I bought it from had a family thing and everything, so I said don't worry about it, just send it out whenever you get situated. It's understandable. So yeah, I never had these actually. I think I still have one of the Ninja Turtle books. Maybe it's listed in, actually, yeah, I think it is listed in here. I had the first one, got like a big storybook. I have that, and then Splinter to the 4, because they're all listed in there. I do have that one. I've had that forever. But I never had this one. Now, with a lot of these novelizations that are aimed towards kids, they will have an 8-page insert with color photos. That is not in here. It does have black and white photos in there, but that's it. So I got a book, which I never really buy much books, sadly. I gotta read I got a ton of books I have not read yet, so I'd like to read all those first before I start buying more, because I already have a problem, as you can see. So there's that. And then I actually got a couple video games for a change as well. So first, I got this at Second and Charles because it was $6 and I never played it before. It's Shrek Treasure Hunt, which this is the only Shrek game to come out on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation 1. By the time the first Shrek movie had come out, and you'll see plenty more Shrek in a little bit here, but by the time that the first Shrek came out, PlayStation 2 was already out. And then the first Shrek movie also got a game for Xbox, but Xbox is gay. I don't play Xbox. And then GameCube as well, so I'll have to get that. But this is a kind of some mini games and some party games. So this is Crash Bash, Mario Party, that sort of thing. But yeah, I found it for $6, so I can't complain. Love Second and Charles. For those of you that have those, for those of you that don't have those, I'm sorry, but one opened up closer to here late last year. There's one in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which I do go from time to time. They just recently moved as well. And then they opened up one in York, Pennsylvania, which is a lot. Well, Harrisburg's about an hour. I don't mind going up to Harrisburg on occasion. It's just the drive in the city is ridiculous, and I try not to go into the city of Harrisburg, because Harrisburg's a fucking nightmare. It's not as bad as Philly or Baltimore, but it's bad, so there's that. But we did get a Second and Charles here, which is awesome. But this one I did get at the Harrisburg location, so there you go. Nice little transition there. But I got Unreal Tournament for tournaments. Sorry, I said it wrong. Tournaments. Bro, Vince Russo. Everything about Vince Russo was tournaments in wrestling, apparently. So, Unreal Tournament, my bad. I do have this on PlayStation 2, but I wanted to get it on Dreamcast because, number one, it was only $25. I figured that this would be a little more expensive because in more recent years, the Sega Saturn and the Dreamcast games have gotten really expensive, which is weird because for the longest time, especially for Sega Saturn, nobody wanted those games and they were dirt cheap. Dreamcast, same thing. You know, some of the bigger titles, Marvel vs. Capcom, Resident Evil, you know, some of those were not as much as they go for now, but they were a little more pricey. So I was surprised that it was only $25, and when the man, it was actually the manager of the store, because we started talking and stuff about different things. He goes, "Oh man, you're a true gamer. You're buying Dreamcast." I was like, "Hell yeah, man! Dreamcast is awesome." So yeah, definitely wanted to add this to the Dreamcast collection. Again, I do have it on PlayStation 2. Love Unreal Tournament. It's like Quake. You know, it's a party shooter, but a lot of those games are pretty fun. I always really enjoyed those. And yeah, let's do music, and then we'll get into the movies, which, you know, most of it is most of the time. Actually, hold on, no, hold on. I forgot that I got some comic books for a change as well. So you got a little bit of everything this time around. I think this is it. So I went to. I did not know that they've been open for 5 years, but they're near the Second and Charles. There's like an antique collectible place which has more of the stuff that I'm into. And look, there's nothing wrong with antiques. It's just not my thing. I have enough expensive habits. I don't need any more. But not my thing, you know, but you know, yeah, if I could get words out of my face hole, it is Monday, and I did work all night because I do have a new job, so I've been liking it so far. It is third shift, so there you go. But So yeah, I went to Second and Charles because I had a coupon to use, and then I always try to go to this place because they have, again, it's antique and collectibles, but it's more of the stuff that I'm into. It's more movies, music, that kind of thing, pop culture, all that sort of stuff. So I did get some more Beavis and Butthead comics. I'm trying to, and I could not tell you the last time I bought a comic book, which I need to change that because I used to buy comics all the time, and then the past couple of years I just stopped buying them for some reason. For the most part, maybe here or there I would grab them, but yeah, I couldn't tell you the last time that I bought comic books. But they did have some of the, again, the Beavis and Butthead comics, and like I said, I'm trying to complete this line. I don't have, there's not too many that I'm missing. It's more of the later issues. So there you go. But we have issue 13. We're making a snow woman, dumbass. That's pretty funny. 30 plus years later, these guys are still making us laugh. And they did get renewed for another season. So there you go. I'm pretty sure that'll probably come out either the back end of this year or early next year. We'll see what happens. So there's that. And then we have issue 14. So we got our Valentine's Day issue there. How fitting. And it's funny because this guy, apparently his name is Earl. I never knew his name on the show. Because I don't think he ever talked. He was just there. But they gave him a name in the comics. So there's that. And then we have issue 18. Okay, so they moved it. So we got Beavis and Butthead at Woodstock. So very cool. Again, love Beavis and Butthead. Always been a big Beavis and Butthead fan. So there's that. And I did get a bunch of music here. I did buy a bunch of CDs for a change. I do still collect CDs in addition to vinyl, but have not really bought a lot of CDs in a bit. But I did get this one at Second and Charles. It was brand new. It's never been opened, so it's been sealed for over 30 years. But it is the soundtrack to the movie Calendar Girl with Jason Priestley, which I am a big fan of that movie because that's one that was constantly on cable. Growing up, it was constantly on TV, especially in the 90s when Beverly Hills 90210 was on. Jason Priestley was still popular, so there you go. But always really liked this movie, and did like the soundtrack here. So, but I've been wanting to get this for a while because there's a version, the version of Why Do Fools Fall in Love was performed by the group Theory, which that was recorded for the movie, and I couldn't find that version anywhere else. I think it was only on this soundtrack. It might be here on YouTube or something, but oh well. But it's got a bunch of cool stuff on here. So good movie, good soundtrack, and the fact that it's sealed is even better. I'll save that for next. And then I got this one when I went up to the Harrisburg Second and Charles, and it's funny because I was actually looking for this CD. I was hoping that I would find it, and I did. So there you go. So we have it's credited as Thin Lizzy for whatever reason, but it's John Sykes, who of course played in Thin Lizzy, and then later White Snake and Blue Murder, and then his own stuff, and Scott Gorham, who was in Thin Lizzy, but it was John Sykes did a series of concerts as a tribute to Thin Lizzy, and that's what this is. This is called Live One Night Only, and this is only on CD. This has not come back out on vinyl or anything right now, and this is actually not on. I don't know what streaming services you guys use, but this is not on Apple Music. So there you go. But very cool to find this, and I want to say this was recorded in Ireland. Let me see if the liner notes but here's the lineup. So you have again John Sykes, and then Scott Gorham, who was in Thin Lizzy, and then you have Marco Mendoza, who played with John Sykes, and he's played in other bands. And then you had Tommy Aldridge on the drums, so one of the greatest drummers ever, as far as I'm concerned. Of course, he played. He didn't play with Thin Lizzy, but he played with Ozzy. He played with Black Oak, Arkansas, Pat Travers. If you don't know who Tommy Aldridge is, you need to do your homework. So there you go. Recorded live in Europe, 1999. So yeah, I don't know where specifically it was recorded, but oh well. But yeah, John, and of course we lost John a couple years ago at this point, but John did this tour that was a tribute to Thin Lizzy, because again, he played in the band, and they just released it as Thin Lizzy for whatever reason. But great concert. And again, right now, as of now, it is only available on CD, and it's not out there on streaming services. Now, these, I am pissed about these. So this is a Aerosmith bootleg set. It's called King's Chronicle, and I've been wanting to get this forever. It's a box set. It did come in a nice long box when they used to make those for CDs, and they actually used... Remember when they used to do CD box sets? Like, Aerosmith had Pandora's Box, which had a bunch of demos and live versions and outtakes and stuff. I'm actually listening to the Motley Crue... I don't know why they called it Music to Crash Your Car To, but they called it that. I'm listening to that one. I just listened to, actually, this one. War Chest, the Megadeth box set. But you remember when bands used to do that, and it would have bonus tracks, and a lot of them had DVDs, like the War Chest one here, and, you know, they used to do all that. They don't do that anymore. But so this is a bootleg box set that came out, and it popped up on eBay, and I saw it. The only thing was, it was missing the box that it came in. So I figured maybe they lost it or it got damaged or whatever. So I just jumped on it. So then it shows up, and I take it out of the packaging, and I look at it, and I'm like, something's up. Something's wrong with this. So this is a copy. So this is a bootleg of a bootleg. And I didn't know that, and it wasn't in the description, and if I would have known that, I would not have bought it. But yeah, the artwork is, I guess the person that sold this to me has a copy of it, and they just made copies off of that to try to sell it. But the artwork is, when you look at it, I don't know if it's going to come up on the camera here, but when you look at it, it's clearly photocopied from the original. And then when you look at the discs, you can see that the discs are just, they printed the labels off of their computer. It wasn't like it was a professional printing, or it went to a duplicator or whatever. And then if you look at the disc says CDR. So these are recordable CDs. So yeah, I am pissed about this because it was not cheap, I will say that. And, you know, this box set is very hard to get a hold of. And of course, there's always people out there that are going to try to scam you and everything. So I did get scammed buying these. So I am pissed about this. But I will hold on to it. So this is the disc 1 and 2. So disc 1 is the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, March 23rd, 1978. And then disc 2 is a couple days later at the Boston Music Hall. So I think I have that show. I think I have another version of that show somewhere. And then we have disc 3 and 4. This has it says it's the Boston Club. I don't know if that was the actual name of the venue or not. But December 3rd, 1980. So Joe Perry was not in the band at that time. That, though, I have another version of that. That is a kick-ass live show. Even when Aerosmith was all fucked up on drugs and everything, and that was around the time that they kind of fell out of public favor, they were still doing some great live shows. I can't complain. And then disc 4 is the Euphorium Theater in Boston, because there's many Euphorium theaters out there. February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1984, which is where Joe Perry and Brad Whitford was actually out of the band at that time. They showed up to say hi, and that led to what we're going to get into now, which led to the reunion of Aerosmith. And then Disc 5 and 6 is New Year's Eve 1984. That's when they got the original lineup got back together at the same venue, the Euphorium Theater in Boston. And then the rest, I don't think it's the whole show, and then the rest of it's bonus tracks. So you have Bone to Bone, Coney Island Whitefish Boy, a great song, from the Hampton Civic Center in Virginia, November 17th, 1987. I think you get a little acoustic kind of unplugged set from Spain in 94, and then a show in Stockholm, Sweden in 94 as well. So nice little mix. But again, I am pissed because these are not the originals. They're copies, and it was not cheap. It's not like, if the guy was going to sell it for $50 or something, I would have, it's their copies. Okay, just to get them, you know what I mean? But they were more than that, and you don't do shit like that. That's disrespectful. But people do it all the time, and they don't. If you would have said it, you would have told me, I wouldn't have been mad about it. But the fact that you tried to pass it off as something that it's not and scam people out of their money, yeah, that's a problem with me. So there you go. And I did get some vinyl here, which is funny because I was talking to Dark Metal Spider, and she had asked me, she goes, have you got any records lately? I said, at the time I talked to her, I said, no, I only got one. I said, I've only bought one record this year so far. But that will be changing. I'll definitely be getting some more records here. So first up, I've been after this one for quite a while. So I think all these are bootlegs. But this one I've been after for a while. There was one on eBay a while ago, and I just kept putting it off, and then somebody got it. But then this one popped up, and it was an auction, and I was the only one that put a bid on it. So there you go. So this is High Maintenance. Now, I'll explain in a minute here, but from the Fillmore in San Francisco, May 7th, 2002, and it does come with a bonus CD of the performance there. Let's get everything in the frame there, which is nice. So, as you can see, it is Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony, and then we have Kirk Hammett. I'm going to say Jason Newsted. Sorry, Jason. Kirk Hammett and Lars from Metallica. So what this is Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony were out on tour, the Sammy Hagar Band or whatever it was called at the time, and they did a show in San Francisco, and Metallica, I think, were playing around the area at the same time. So Sammy invited Kirk and Lars to come up on stage, and they played a bunch of Montrose songs. So that's what this is called. And the reason why it's called High Maintenance is because Sammy made a joke about the band being called High Maintenance. So there's that. So this is the performance of that, again, on vinyl and CD. There is a bonus CD as well, which is very cool. But I had found out about this a couple years ago and thought, cool, definitely would like to have that in my collection. And again, there was one that popped up on eBay, and I just put it off, and then this one actually popped up, which is cool. I think this one was a little bit cheaper than the other one, and the other one was coming from, I think, Argentina. This was from America, so I can't complain about that. So there you go. So you have Rock the Nation, Space Station Number 5, Rock Candy, and Bad Motor Scooter are the 4 songs that they came up and played, which is very cool. So have not listened to that one. Definitely want to give that one a spin sometime soon here. So actually, the majority of these I got from the people that I usually buy from. I had not bought anything from them, I think, since October. So I wanted to get back in the game, especially with them, because they put out a lot of great stuff. So I got a bunch of cool stuff here, and then I have another one that I just got in the mail the other day. So first up, going back to Aerosmith, but I knew this was a bootleg. because this is only available as a bootleg. But we have Rats at the Tower, which this is from the Tower Theater in Philadelphia, March 26, 1978. This was a radio broadcast when they used to do that back in the day. I do have this one on CD. This is one of my all-time favorite Aerosmith bootlegs. Again, even when they were fucked up and they were on drugs and everything, they were still putting out great shows and great performances. And this is no exception. So there you go. So I was very, very happy when they announced that they were putting this one out on vinyl. And it comes on like this nice sun splatter vinyl there, which is very cool. So very, very happy again that they were putting this one out, because like I said, this is one of my all-time favorite Aerosmith shows. So there's that. And this is copy number 117 out of 200. So they don't make these, they just sell them. And they typically, I think, get all the pieces from the guy that makes them, and they just sell them. So there you go. And then we've got Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is the Shoreline Amphitheater out there in Crackhead, California. The Live 105 BFD Festival. I don't know what that is. This is June 18th, 99. So this is a soundboard recording from the Californication tour. So there you go. Which I think most of this show is those songs. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the 5 of the 10 songs? Yeah, or no. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 5 of the 11 songs. Or sorry, 12. My bad. If I could read, are from that record. So there you go. Which is still always my favorite Chili Peppers record, because I remember when that came out when I was a kid. So there you go. And this one's really cool. It's on this nice like blue with a little bit of rainbow splatter in there. That's very nice. Very, very cool. Unfortunately, again, I have not listened to any of these yet. Just been very, very busy. So there you go. So I look forward to that. And this is number 129 out of 200. And then we have one of my all-time favorite bands up there with Aerosmith, and the last band you're going to see here. But we have Stone Temple Pilots' Sunset Strip Love Song. Actually, what was the name of the Chili Peppers? Oh, Around the Silicon Valley. My bad. And this was recorded. This was the House of Blues, March 15th, 2000, which is out there as a video and everything, but I wanted to get the audio. Again, I was very happy that they put this one out as well. And this is number 97 out of 200. So there you go. I guess that's a 7. That's not how I write 7, but oh well. And it is a double album, which is very cool. And I think this was for the number 4. No, Shangri-La Dee-Da tour, my bad. And it's on like this darkish green, got a little bit of splatter in there, like darker colors, like there's a little bit of brown and red in there. Don't think that's going to come up on the camera, but there's that. But yeah, I think this was the Shangri-La Dee-Da tour, because number 4 was the year before. So Stone Temple Pilots, it was interesting because they did the first 2 albums. Well, the first album was 92. I always think that the Core came out in 93. It didn't. Core came out in 92. They toured behind that and everything, did MTV Unplugged, all this stuff. Then they came back and did Purple, which was 94. And then I think in between then, I think that's when Scott started getting in trouble, because their third album didn't come out till 96, 95, 96, so there was a little bit of a break, or maybe 97. And then Scott behaved for a little bit, because number 4 and Shangri-La Dee-Da came out back to back, and then he got in trouble again, and then the band broke it off. So there you go. Okay, so Days of the Week is not on here. Thought it was. No, oh well, not that big of a deal. All right, and then we got Tesla, another great band I've always been a fan of. Twin City Cowboys, which is very cool. So there you go. This is from the Myth on the February 22nd, if I could talk, 2008. This is a soundboard number 97 out of 200. Excuse me. But always loved Tesla. They're actually going out with Extreme on the Motley Crue tour. I'm going to go to see Tesla and Extreme, and then I'm going to leave because I don't give a shit about Motley Crue anymore. So there's that. Nice translucent orange vinyl. Very, very nice. But again, always really enjoyed Tesla. I know they got labeled as a hair metal band, but I mean, yeah, they were around that time, that era, but they were just always just a good straight up rock band. You know, jeans and t-shirts and just coming out and rocking the house. When I saw them a couple years ago, they were great. Definitely want to go see them again because I always really enjoyed them. Now, the last one that I got from them, this is not from the person that did those. This is from another label, but it is Van Halen, and then I have another Van Halen bootleg that I got from someone else. So this just came out. This is the Monsters of Rock Sweden 84. So this is actually one of the last shows that David Lee Roth played with the band. So I think the last show he played was in Germany, but this is one of the last shows that he played with them. Now this is an audience recording, but the quality is pretty good. It's a really good audience recording. And what's also really cool is it's on clear. Clear, translucent, whatever you want to call it. Because when I bought it, he said, "Oh, I only have clear left." I said, "That's fine. It's no big deal," because they did a red one and then clear. He's like, "No big deal, man." I told him, I said, "Clear is fine. I just want the record." You know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal. I just want it. So there's that. This actually just came out. And then this I got from somebody else. Now this is interesting because I saw this pop up on eBay, and people were trying to sell it for $250, $300, and there was no way in hell that I wanted to pay that and do all that. So I did a little research. I found out you had to get these from a certain website, and at the time that I found out, they were out of stock. They were not selling them. So I went on the other night. I just, out of curiosity, I just said, let me go see if they got any more in or what the case is. And they did. They were fully in stock. And I went on, got it. The guy emailed me and said, "Hey, I need your address because the system is not giving me your address for whatever reason." I said, "Not a problem." And it came in 2 days. So I thought that was crazy. The only shitty thing is the guy just shoved this in a mailer. He didn't pad it or anything. So I was a little worried. But when I opened it up, luckily, thank you, the record was not damaged in any way, shape, or form. But I only got it for $50, so can't complain. But this is Van Halen, the 5150 session. So this is actually Eddie, Alex, and Wolfgang. This is before David Lee Roth was actually coming back in the band in 2007. So this was recorded in 2006 and 7 at 5150 Studios, and it's just them jamming in the studio, no vocals. But again, this is very cool. So very, very nice. And I got this for $50. Again, I was not paying 4 and 5 times what it was originally going to sell for. I got lucky. So there you go. So on here, you got Unchained, which of course is one of my all-time favorite Van Halen songs. Sadly, no Sammy Hagar era. It's all David Lee Roth era. So I think these were probably recorded. They were David Lee Roth. I don't think it was announced that he was back in the band yet, but they probably had already iron that out. They probably already sealed that deal, and they were just rehearsing, jamming on these songs because they were about to announce David Lee Roth coming back into the band. So there you go. So again, I don't think it was announced yet, but I think it was set, like, we're going to do this. So there you go. Because it's all David Lee Roth songs. But Unchained, Atomic Punk, Ain't Talking About Love, I'm the One, Running with the Devil, Romeo Delight, I love that song as well. Hot for Teacher, On Fire, Somebody Get Me a Doctor, and Panama. I don't know who ran the board. It does not say. But it was mixed. This was mixed and mastered, so I don't know if whoever mixed and mastered this, they did it back then and this leaked out, or someone had mysteriously gotten the tapes or whatever, the files or whatever, and they did that and then put it out as a bootleg. I don't know, but I did hear some samples of that. It actually sounds really, really good. So I would assume that whoever got them probably got the tapes somehow, or they were given the files or whatever somehow. So, but it's really good. Yes, it's technically a bootleg, but it's very well done. So I definitely want to put that on the turntable sometime soon here. But whenever a new Van Halen bootleg pops up, which the past couple years there have been a bunch popping up, I like to grab them because they're my favorite band. And a lot of that stuff, again, that kind of stuff especially, the live shows are awesome, don't get me wrong, I have a ton of that stuff, but whenever it's demos or rehearsals or jams or stuff like that, the stuff that was not really meant to be heard for the public, that's the really cool stuff too. I just got you can find it online, it just came out, but they did a rehearsal for the US Festival in 1983. They did like a live rehearsal with an audience. That was really cool to hear, because they did a bunch of songs that weren't on the concert, and it was like a full production rehearsal, because you can hear like Dave, telling, okay, this is when the lights are going to come up, this is when the strobe light's going to go off, just, we're not going to do it, but just pretend that's what's happening. And then you hear him talking to the tech, I can't hear Michael Anthony in my monitor, turn Michael up in my monitor. So that's the really cool shit that I like. Not just with Van Halen, but with any band. Being a nerd, an audio nerd and stuff, being a music nerd, that's the really cool stuff. Again, I can hear, the bootlegs and stuff all the time, because now they're on YouTube and stuff. It's not like, 10, 20 years ago where, it wasn't on YouTube. You had to, find somebody that had it, and if they were going to sell you a copy, you might have to go through hoops and shit to do it. Now that stuff is so easily accessible, it's not even funny. So there's that. That's all the music, so let's get into the movies. I did get some laser discs, because again, when I went to the other antique place near 2nd and Charles, I always try to get some laser discs from them, because they're typically cheap. All of these were very cheap. And again, the only stuff I collect on Laserdisc is stuff I'm going to watch again and again and again and again. Just like VHS. I'm starting to kind of downgrade my vinyls a little bit, because number one, I have way too much. And number two, you have to curate. I try to curate everything. It's not collecting, it's curating. So there you go. So I did get a couple here. First up, we have The Good Son, which I was surprised that I did not have this on Laserdisc yet, to be honest. But you gotta have this. This is an essential title. I actually really like this movie. I always did. I probably should not have watched this as a kid as much as I did. Maybe that's why I'm fucked up. I don't know. But I quite like this film. Kino actually did a really nice Blu-ray release of this. It had some extras and stuff on there, which was very cool. Which I was surprised that they were able to do that, because it is a Fox title. So I guess that was before Disney bought them out. But I have this on VHS as well. Again, I've just always really liked this movie. So, again, probably not one that I should have watched as a kid, but it's okay. I didn't kill anybody. I'm not the good son, all right? I didn't murder my sibling in the bathtub. Oh well. Then I did get Virtuosity. Always enjoyed this one. I know one of Rambo Raff's favorite movies, which the guys at Dead Pit always give him shit for, but that's what friends are for, right? But good stuff. Again, always really enjoyed this film. I do want to get that Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, because I actually only have this on DVD. I think I only have it on DVD. I never upgraded to the Blu-ray quite yet, but that's okay, because I have it on Laserdisc. But yeah, I always really like this film. Just because I want to kill you doesn't mean we can't be friends. And then this was cool because I found this sealed, and it was like it was like $15 or something, but it was sealed. So I was like, hell yeah. But it's the Universal Studios Signature Collection, which I love these. Love this line. I don't think I'm going to get every single movie that was in the line, but had to get this one. Had to get Liar Liar, because I always really enjoyed this one. I think, honestly, that this is one of the more underrated Jim Carrey movies, because you don't... I mean, when it came out, it did very well. I think it was really the last really big hit for Jim Carrey. And I think that's kind of when his run ended. Because a lot of people think that, he just was the bee's knees for... It's not true, because after Liar Liar, I mean, he did... I think The Truman Show was the next year, which did well, but that was more of a kind of dramedy. And then after that, I think The Grinch was a hit. Me, Myself, and Irene, which I've never seen. I've never seen The Truman Show, and I've never seen Me, Myself, and Irene. To this day, I still have not watched either of those movies. The Grinch did well. The Majestic was a big flop. I do remember that. Bruce Almighty did well, but I think that was really his last big successful movie. Because after that, his movies weren't making as much anymore, and people were kind of looking for somebody else. But again, I have always really enjoyed Liar Liar. And like I said, I do think this is a little more on the underrated side, because I don't really hear people talk about this film anymore. But I always really enjoyed this. So you do get, there is a commentary with Tom Shadyac. There is a making of on here. You do get the AC3 digital track on, yes you do, on the digital track. Trailer, production photographs, and promotional concepts and campaigns, so posters and stuff like that, which is very cool. And of course, all of this ended up on the DVDs and the Blu-ray releases, so it's nothing exclusive on here, but it is on Laserdisc, so there you go. But again, always really liked Liar Liar, so there's that. And then the lady that played his wife, Maura Tierney, she was hot in that movie, I will say that. So there you go. Now let's get into some VHS, and then we will wrap up with the DVDs and the Blu-rays. So first up, I don't know why these are expensive now. These are hard to find, but I did get another Jackie Chan Adventures VHS. This is The Day of the Dragon, but these are now like going for crazy prices online. I got this one pretty cheap. I think this one was like $7 or something. But the other two volumes are like 50, 60. Why? I don't know. It's, again, the inflation of VHS is ridiculous at this point, as you all very well know. So I don't know what volume this is. I have to check the catalog numbers. I know I have volume 1, but they did 4 VHS tapes. So I don't know which one. This might be the 4th one, because it does say on the back here, the final ancient Chinese talisman. So this might be, again, the 2-part season finale of the first season. So again, we'll see. But got that one. Love Jackie Chan Adventures. Like I said, I don't know why VHS in general for a lot of stuff has gotten so expensive, but oh well. Found this again at the antique place that I went to. Finally got this back in the collection, which I will explain. But it is Casino. Love Casino. Love the old classic 2-tape Universal sets here. I have a bunch of their movies that came out on 2 tapes because they're longer, and then the 2 collector's editions that they did. Now I did have Casino on VHS before, but the copy that I had was it was a dub. Like someone just dubbed. I guess they rented the movie or they borrowed the movie for somebody or whatever. But it was just a dubbed copy, and they like they photocopied the artwork. So I had that one for a while, and then I got rid of it because like there were parts where the movie would drop out, and then the audio would get fucked up because it was a recorded VHS. It's the quality's not the best, as you all very well know. So I actually finally got the official VHS here. So I've never had this one. I just had a cheap repo. So there's that. Speaking of bootlegs here, I did find this on eBay, which is very cool. And I don't know when these were made or how they were sourced, but I will find that out. But I did actually find the complete series of Exo Squad on VHS, which is very cool, on 3 tapes because it was only 40 episodes. So there's that. So we have Volume 1, which has the complete first season, which was only 13 episodes. So that would be 4 hours and 20 minutes of video. And that's funny because today's 420. I'm not into that. And then you have the first 5 episodes of Season 2. And then it just says Exo 1. So yeah, I'm pretty... Again, I will have to check these to see the sources of how these were made. Because the other thing that people are doing is I've talked about this before, but they're reverse engineering. So they're taking stuff that never came out on VHS and they're dubbing it backwards. So I know people are like, what do you mean? So they're undigitizing VHS. So when I digitize, or when anybody else digitizes, you hook up your VCR to a capture card or you burn it to a disc with a recorder. They're doing the opposite. They are taking digital files and they're recording them to a VHS tape, or they are taking a DVD, a blank DVD or whatever, and recording that back to VHS. So you have to be very careful with that stuff. But these look like they were probably made back in the day. So we'll see. But we have Volume 2, which has the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 episodes of Season 2. So we're up to 21, as it was 5 and 16. So there you go. And then we have Volume 3, which has the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That was the 5-parter. 18. So the remaining 18 episodes of Season 2. So, again, the complete series of Exo Squad, which the first season came out on VHS officially, but that was it. I guess they gave up very quickly on that. So, very cool to have. So there you go. And then speaking of cartoons, I'll hold off on those for just a moment. I found these at one of the local antique malls, and I thought this was very cool. So I have a couple of the Speed Racer VHS. These were put out by Family Home Entertainment, who of course did Ninja Turtles and a bunch of other stuff back in the day. These were put out in the 90s, so I think they had the license to them. They actually did 12. I went online and poked around a little bit. They did 12 volumes. I have 1, 2, and 4. So I need to get the other 9 that are out there. So we have Volume 1, The Great Plan, which I think has the first 2 episodes on here. Then we have Volume 2, The Secret Engine. I do really like the artwork on here. Very similar. They did Robotech They did a 36 volume run of Robotech, and they had very similar artwork as well. And then we have volume 4, Race Against Time, which I have the first volume of Robotech, but I'd like to get some more of those. So there you go. Love Speed Racer. It's very strange, I will say that, but I used to watch it as a kid. It was Cartoon Network used to rerun it back in the day and such, which is very cool. And then next up, I believe these are the only 3, but I do have the 3 non-Jackie Chan and Jet Li Hong Kong movies that Miramax, Dimension, Disney, whoever you want to call them, it's all the same thing. These are the 3, again, non-Jackie Chan and Jet Li movies they released on when they had their agreement. So, City on Fire with Chow Yun-fat and Danny Lee, even though he's just credited as Danny on the back here, which is weird. I don't know if that's a typo or not, but it is Danny Lee. So there you go. This actually is edited. They did cut some stuff out of it for whatever reason, even though this only went straight to video. Actually, it's not true. Well, that part is true. There's another movie that they released. Jackie Chan had a cameo in it, Super Cop 2. So they did 4, but again, Jackie Chan technically is in that movie. He just has a cameo. So there you go. But love City on Fire. This was a movie when I first saw it, I didn't like it, and then it was a paid request on the old channel, and I hadn't seen it in years, and then I was like, damn, I was wrong about this one. It happens sometimes. I know it's hard for people to believe. You know, you watch a movie and you don't like it, then you revisit it, then you do like it. I know, shocking, right? But you'll see more City on Fire in a moment here. And then we have the Heroic Trio. For whatever reason, they did not release the sequel, Executioners. I'm pretty sure they had the license to it, the rights to it, but for whatever reason, again, they only put out part 1. So there you go. I don't even think they put it out on DVD. I think they only released it on VHS. Oh well. And then we have Iron Monkey, which I do remember when this came out in the theater. I do remember that because Crouching Tiger had come out, and Yuen Woo-ping worked on this movie, and it says that, you know, from the director, action choreographer of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and The Matrix. But this one they actually put in the theaters. I think this was the only, well, not all the Jackie Chan movies they put in the theater. Operation Condor 2 did not go in the theater. I don't think Twin Dragons did, I believe. Crime Story did not. So they didn't do all of that. I don't think any of the Jet Li ones they put in the theaters, but they did put out Iron Monkey, which is funny because by the time that they released it here in America, I think the movie was already 10 years old. So there you go. And this is the English dub. They did also release the Mandarin dub on VHS as well, but clearly I don't speak Chinese. You guys know this. So even though Fun is my Chinese neighbor's middle name. Yes. How's that for you? Anyway, a couple more VHS here. Finally, got the Buffy movie on VHS. I have this on Blu-ray. I don't know why this never got a special edition. I've always really liked it. I guess Joss Whedon has control over that or what have you, but fuck Joss Whedon, so there's that. But again, I'd never had this one on VHS. Finally found it in good shape. So there you go, and cheap. Now, what is interesting, if you notice something on the back here, you notice who that is? That's Seth Green. Seth Green is one of the vampires in the movie. Towards the end, like, he doesn't have any lines or anything, but towards the end of the movie, you do see him. He was just an extra, I guess, but for whatever reason, they did put this picture of him on the back there, and of course, Seth Green was the only actor from the movie that ended up in the TV series, so there you go. And then the last VHS that I have here, I did get this on Laserdisc the last update, and then I went and bought the VHS. But it is the integral version, the director's cut, or whatever you would like to call it, of Leon the Professional. Which, again, in America, this did not come out until DVD. It did not, for whatever reason, they did not release this version in the States until the DVD era. But in other parts of the world, Japan, amongst others, they did get it on VHS and Laserdisc. So I do have both formats. So there you go. I do have the theatrical version because my grandmother had that on VHS, so I did keep that. That's just in the other room.